Hello students, I am here with another video from the chapter Light, Reflection and Refraction. Yesterday we started this topic in which I discussed about what is the meaning of the word light, and then we have discussed about what all terms which are related with the properties of light, that it travels in a straight line, then it is going to show you the properties of reflection and refraction. So in short, I told you that reflection means the bouncing back of light after striking any shiny surface, and about refraction I told you that it is the bending of light when light is traveling from one medium to another medium, where the densities of these mediums are going to be changed. Now next we discussed about the topics, the terms which are used in the reflection of light, that were the incident ray. So these were as like this. We have discussed about the incident ray, the normal, the point of incidence, the reflected ray, okay, and what is the reflecting surface, so or an angle of incidence and angle of reflection. Now based upon these topics, I'll start with the today's video, that with the today's topic, that is the laws of reflection of light. Now are these light which is being reflected, are they going to follow any kind of law? Now if we talk about the laws, there are two laws of reflection, okay. So this reflection of light is happening once it is striking any surface. Means what is this reflection? Reflection means when the light is striking on any shiny surface, it is going to be reflected, it is going to be bounced back. So this is happening when the shiny surface is smooth, okay, when it is smooth, when it is plain. So there are two types of surface. One is the plane surface, another one is the rough surface. The plane surfaces are always forming a regular reflection, and an uneven surface is going to form a diffused reflection. So diffused reflection and regular reflection, I think we have seen this in the lower classes, that where there are two surfaces are present. One is plane, means even surface, another one is uneven surface. When the reflection is happening, this is the type of reflection when it is happening on an even surface. On an even surface, that is known as the regular reflection, and the surface which is uneven, that is known as the that shows you the diffused reflection. Okay, so this diffused and regular reflection is because of the way by which the incident ray is being reflected. Now are they following any kind of laws? Yes. So these are following, these reflected rays and these incident rays and the light which is being reflected is following the law. So the reflection of light from a plane surface, that is like a plane mirror, or a spherical, or from a spherical surface like concave and convex mirror. We'll just discuss about these types of mirrors in the further slides. So if it is taking place, it is taking place according to the two laws. So the first law says that, the first law is going to tell you that this angle of incident ray, the reflected ray, the normal, and the point of incidence, all these lie on the same plane. Means what is this law about? This law is telling you about when where we are doing the experiment. For example, this is the sheet where we are performing an experiment. So when the incident ray is coming, it is going to strike at some point on this surface, on this plane mirror, okay. This is a plane mirror, or this is a reflecting surface, plane surface, or this is a plane mirror, okay. So if you show this by dotted these lines, then this is known as the reflecting, this is known as the opaque side, and this above side is known as the reflecting surface. So whenever it is striking at the reflecting surface, then what happens? It is going to be reflected, this incident ray is going to be reflected, and it becomes a reflected ray, and it is going to strike. The point at which the striking is taking place is known as point of incidence. So this incident ray, this point of incidence, reflected ray, all these, and the normal is also drawn, which is dividing these two in the equal parts. So that line which we construct is known as the normal, which is perpendicular to the surface, okay. So all these are lying on the same plane. What is that same plane? Same plane means where the experiment is being done. If this experiment is being shown here on the slide, so here the plane becomes this slide, and if you are doing the experiment on your classroom, on your laboratory board, that drawing board, then drawing board becomes a reflecting, that becomes a plane, that becomes the same plane. Now if I draw this diagram on a board, so that board becomes a diagram, that board becomes the same plane. Okay, so the plane of experiment, same plane here means it is the plane of experiment where this experiment is being performed. Now wherever we are performing this experiment, this all these lines, whatever words you could see here on the screen, the incident ray, normal, angle of incidence, point of incidence, all these lie on the same plane of experiment. Okay, so this is the first law. Now the second law, what is the second law? Second law says that the angle of incidence, now where is this angle of incidence? Angle of incidence is formed with the help of two rays. One is the incident ray, another one is this normal. So this in between these two lines, the angle which is formed is known as angle of incidence. So this angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. Okay, so this angle of reflection is always equal to angle of incidence. Please remember that this is always taking place when an ideal form of reflection is happening. Means whenever the regular reflection is happening, then only these two laws will be following. Okay, so the incident ray and the reflected ray, they lie on either side of the normal. So these two laws, when it is happening, so this is the second law, says that the angle of incidence, that is also denoted by letter small I, is always equal to angle of reflection, so which is denoted by the small r. Now if I say that if the angle of incidence is 30 degrees, then what will be the angle of reflection? The number will be again a 30 degree. Okay, so that will be equal. Now there could be some special cases, like is there any condition possible when the angle of, okay, some more examples. If I say that angle of reflection, angle R is equal to 45 degrees, then what will be angle I? Angle I also will be 45 degrees. So please remember that if any such question would come, then you should always understand what kind of angle of incidence and angle of reflection will be formed. Now if I say that a light is going to strike at the 20 degrees angle, okay, light is striking at 20 degrees, so this angle is given, and you need to know what is the angle of incidence. How will you find? So you will be able to find, because you know that the complete angle, so this angle is 90 degree, and if you subtract this 90, then this 20 from this 90, you will get the value of angle of incidence. Okay, so this is how you are going to solve the numericals which will be related to these kinds of questions. Okay, it could be asked in your exam in the form of multiple choice question, where you could just see and just tell the answer according to the diagram which is being given. So here the angle of reflection and angle of incidence is always equal, you have to remember, but these all are taking place only in an ideal condition, when the surface of reflection is always a regular surface. Means it is always a regular reflection, and the surface is always an even surface. Okay, even surface, such as the shiny surface of mirror, it could be any kind of plane mirror, it could be any kind of plane surface. Okay, whenever it is taking place at a plane surface, this reflection. So the laws are going to form, these laws they will be following the regular reflection. Now next, the second condition is that what happens, or is there any condition when this angle of incidence and angle of reflection both becomes 0? Okay, is this angle of incidence and angle of reflection is equal to 0? Is this any condition, such condition which is taking place in these types of reflection, in these laws of reflection? Yes, there could be one condition where the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection which is equal to 0. Now can you think over it for some time, that what will be that condition where this angle will be 0? So the condition will be such that there will be no angle of incidence. Means if the light is striking perpendicularly on this mirror, okay, if it is coming on the sides of this normal, on the way of this normal, then only the angle of incidence will be 0. Now if angle of incidence is 0, then what about reflection? And if it goes back again in the same way, in the same path, so again the angle of reflection will also be 0. Angle I will be 0, angle R will also be 0. So this is also another condition where the light is going to fall, it is going to form along with the normal. Means it is falling normally, or it is falling perpendicularly on the surface of the mirror. So that is a ray, means that is the light when it is coming and going on the same path of the normal, which follows the path of normal. That is going to give you the 0 degree angle. Okay, so the angle I and angle R will always be 0 when the light falls perpendicularly on any reflecting surface. Okay, so that is why this is one condition. Now is there any condition when this angle of incidence and angle of reflection both becomes 180 degree? Okay, just think over it and give the answer in the online class. Fine. So is there any position when this angle of incidence and angle of reflection becomes 180 degree? Okay, so remember, just think over it and give me the answer. Fine. This is about 180. Angle I and angle R is equal to 180 degree. Okay, now we go on to the next slide. Now what all properties are there which is because of which an image is formed when an image is formed by a plane mirror? Okay, when an image is formed by a plane mirror, what kind of properties it might be having? Now what is the meaning of the word image? So image is, or before starting with the image, I should tell you what is an object. So yesterday we discussed about these terms, that what is an object. So an object is a thing, anything which is going to give light rays, or it is the thing which is used to form an image, means which is used to form a reflection. So reflection is something we know when we look into the mirror. Okay, we find that we are seeing in the mirror. We are not actually in that the other side of the mirror. The other side of the mirror is the person who is standing at the other side of the mirror is our reflection. So this reflection is known as, it is the image. It is going to look in the same manner as we look as our face looks. Okay, so it is the image of our face. So that is how the image is being formed in the plane mirror. Now what are the properties of this plane mirror? I mean properties of this image which is formed in the plane mirror. Fine. Now the properties, the image will be, first of all, the image will be virtual. Now what is the meaning of this virtual word? Virtual means the image which cannot be obtained on a screen, that is known as virtual image. Okay, it is only seen by looking in the mirror or in a lens or in any shiny surface. So the image of our face which is formed in the mirror cannot be obtained on the screen, means till the time you are standing in front of a mirror, you will be able to see your image. Similarly, if you are standing in front of a container which contains some pure water, then also the image which is formed at that surface of the water sorry. So when you are standing at the surface of the water, just you will look down and you will see that the image which is formed in the water, that will be your virtual image. So a virtual is never obtained on a screen. Fine. Now this virtual image is formed only when light is coming from an object and it appears to meet at a point which when it is going to appear to meet at a point. Okay, means when we are going to extend this at the inner side of this object, it is going to form an image. Okay, suppose that if this light is going to come and it is falling on the surface, it appears to meet at this point, but it is not it is only appearing, it is actually not meeting at a certain point. So once you are extending this at the at the inner side of this mirror, it is going to form your image. So the image which is formed in the plane mirror is always virtual and it is always erect. Erect means it is always straight. So this the word erect means straight here. So we'll always use the word which is meant for the reflection of light. That is, the image is always virtual. It is always erect. Okay, erect means it is the straight image, and it could be virtual image also. It could be inverted image. So you will show this this inverted image in the form of this arrow which is having the arrowhead at the down surface. Fine. If the arrowhead is at the above surface, then it is known as the erect image. Fine. So I'll tell you again all about all these things in when I'm going to tell you about how is this image being formed in the plane mirror, means in the concave and the convex mirror, in the spherical mirror also. So in the plane mirror we saw that image which is formed is always virtual. Virtual means it is not real, it is not obtained on the screen. It appears to it is appearing that it is coming on the screen, but it is not obtained. Fine. Till the time you will be standing in front of the mirror, you will be able to see your image. After that, it is not, it is also being gone once you move away from your away from the mirror. Okay, so this image is having this quality. Next is that the image which is formed in the plane mirror is always the same size as that of the object. So if the object is small, then the image is also being small, which is being obtained in the inner side. Now if the object is large, then the image which is formed is also large. Okay, so this is the reason because of which the image is obtained on the plane mirror is always of the same size. Means you could see that if your height is you are of particular height, if you take a pen or a pencil or anything in your hand, you just keep it in front of the mirror. Is it going to increase or decrease in its height? No. Is your face going to look big or small when you are looking into the mirror? No, it is not like that. We always find that our face is having the similar height and width. Okay, so this is because the plane mirror always forms an image of the same size as that of the object. So this is the second property of this plane, the image which is being formed by the plane mirror. Okay, so next is that at the same distance, this image which is being formed in the plane mirror is it is of the same size, it is of the same distance from the mirror as the object is present in front of it. Okay, so these are the third property which is related with the image of this plane mirror is that, see, this distance which is present here, which is shown with the help of this x, is always equal to this x dash inside the mirror. Means if you are standing at 1 meter of the distance from the mirror, your image will also be formed at 1 meter from the distance inside the mirror. Okay, now this could be very easily explained. If you are having tiles in your home and you just move away, you just count the number of tiles, you just take a small mirror and just keep it there and just you are able to observe your feet in that mirror. Now once you are standing in front of a mirror, you will see that if there are 4 tiles, if you are 4 tiles away, okay, you just count the number of tiles. If suppose that it is 3 tiles away, you are standing here. Now if you are counting this as 1, 2 and 3, now your image will also be formed in the same manner. Okay, this again you are going to count as 1, 2 and 3 here outside. So inside the mirror also it will be 1, 2 and 3 and your image will be formed here only. So this shows that when an image is formed in a plane mirror, it is always at the same distance from the object which is present outside the mirror. Okay, so it will be same distance from the mirror as the object is in front of it. So this is very easy experiment and this could be performed very easily if you want to know that this fact that the images which is formed in the plane mirror is always having the same distance from the mirror as in front of the image. Okay. Now the next and the last property of this image which is being formed by the plane mirror is that it is always laterally inverted. Now what is this lateral inversion? So lateral inversion is a process by which you would see the changes in the sides of an object will take place. Suppose that if you are standing in front of a mirror and in front of a mirror and you raised your right hand, okay, you will see that your image is raising your left hand. Okay, so in the same manner, why this is happening? This is happening by the phenomenon of lateral inversion. The word lateral means sides. The lateral means sides. Okay, so this is the sideways reversal of any object in its image. So this is known as the lateral inversion. Okay, now if you find some letters in the English alphabet, if you write R in front of a mirror, then you will see that how is this R written at the back side of the mirror is like this. Your image will be, the letter R will look like this. Okay, if some letters are there in an English alphabet which is not laterally inverted, you can make a list of those alphabets in English letters which is not laterally inverted, and you will just discuss this in the online classes. Now next is this lateral inversion. Means this is one of the fact that this is always obtained in the image which is formed by a plane mirror, that it is always laterally inverted. Laterally inverted means it is sideways, it is being sideways reversed. Left will be its image's right, and image's left will be it's the object's right. Okay, so this left right reversal of any object inside its image which is obtained on the screen is known as lateral inversion. This is the sideways reversal of the image which is formed. Fine, so this is all these were the characteristics which is obtained on the image which is formed on the plane mirror. Okay, so these were that it is virtual, then it is not obtained on a screen. If the image of the plane mirror is always erect, means it is upside, it is straight, it is not going to be inverted, it is not upside down. Okay, now the image which is formed by the plane mirror is always at the same size, then it is formed at the same distance also, and the last property was that it is laterally inverted, and lateral inversion means it is the change of the sides of an object. Okay, and if this lateral inversion is having a very greater utility when you see an ambulance which is written in an inverted form. This ambulance is written on that van or that vehicle. Why it is written in an opposite way? This is written in an opposite way because once the person who is driving the another vehicle, that appears to be, that spelling of ambulance will appear to be in a right form, it is going to be appeared in the correct form in the rear view mirror which is being present in the another person's vehicle. So these are the various properties which is related with the image which is formed in the plane mirror. So as you could see here, this person is standing, his distance, if the light is falling from the back side of this person, it appears to meet at this point, but actually it is not, it appears to meet. If you are seeing here, if the person is looking from this side, it is going to see, we are able to see that it is going to appear to meet at certain place, but it is actually not meeting. Once we are going to extend these lines at the back, we will find that it is going to meet somewhere here and the image will be formed here. So the image which is being obtained is always a virtual image, and you see that this is found at an equal distance, which is equidistant from the object and this mirror. So this distance, if suppose this is a small d, and the image distance inside the mirror will also be small d. So distance from the object to the mirror is always equal to the distance from the mirror to an object. Okay, distance of the mirror to an image. Fine, so this is all about the properties of the image which is being formed in the plane mirror. Now we go on to the next slides. Now we will see that there are certain curved surfaces also, which also is utilized in the form of mirrors. Now there are certain spherical mirrors. Okay, spherical mirrors means the mirrors which are all obtained from a sphere. Now what is a sphere? Sphere means it is a 3D structure of a circle. Okay, now the reflection of any light from a curved surface is always taking place from these spherical mirrors only. So the spherical mirrors are of two types. It is convex and concave mirror. So one is concave mirror and the another one is the convex mirror. Okay, whenever is a spherical mirror is a mirror whose reflecting surface is a part of a hollow sphere. Okay, a spherical mirror is always a mirror. Fine, it is a mirror which is formed from a part of any kind of hollow sphere or of a glass. So if a glass is there, if it is a spherical glass, you just think over it that it is kind of a, suppose that it is a spherical glass. Okay, now this spherical glass, if you cut some piece from here, okay, this becomes a spherical mirror. It is having a curved surface. So this curved surface which is obtained from this spherical mirror, from this sphere, this becomes the reflecting mirrors, and these are of two types, and it is based upon the curved surface, the side of the curved surface, whether it is curved from inside or where the reflecting surfaces are different. So the spherical mirror is always a part of a sphere, hollow sphere of glass. Now it is of two types, that is concave mirror, and the another one is the convex mirror. Now this concave mirror means it is a spherical mirror. This spherical mirror has a reflecting surface curved inwards, okay, when the reflecting surface is curved inwards. Now before telling you about the inverted surfaces, I will just discuss that how is this mirror being represented in this chapter, means in this light chapter, whenever I am writing a mirror, how it will be explained. So mirror has always two sides. I just discussed about this plane mirror. I'll just show you this, the object, this diagram again. So this is a diagram of a plane mirror which is kept in between. So this blue line which is being drawn here is showing you the mirror. This is a plane mirror because a straight line is being drawn. So when you draw a straight line and it is being one side of the mirror, you know that it is always polished. So these lines which are being drawn here, if I draw a line like this on this on the one side of any of the mirror, so this line, this small lines which is being drawn here in the form of this blue lines, as you could see here very properly, so this is showing you the opaque surface. So this is the opaque surface. It is a non-reflecting surface. Okay, so this is a non-reflecting surface. Fine. Next, the shiny surface from where you see the reflection is the reflecting surface. Okay, now what is this reflecting surface? It is the shiny surface on which we can obtain the image, and one side which is opaque, which is always polished, so that will be known as either by polished surface or by non-reflecting surface. So this diagram is making you very clear. This is a diagram of a plane mirror, as the reflecting surface is always a plane. It is a straight line, and these lines which are being drawn here, it is showing you the polished surface, and it is a non-reflecting side. Now again, now we go on to the next, that is the spherical mirror. Spherical mirrors could be concave and convex. Now if we have to show the spherical mirrors, it is, as you know that it is cut, it is being cut from the spherical hollow sphere, means it is being cut from the reflecting surface of a hollow sphere. It will always having a curved surface. Now if I draw the lines here, it means that it is a non-reflecting side. Okay, this is the polished side. As you have to see the image, it means one side of the mirror will always be polished, it is non-reflecting, and another side which is curved is used for the reflection. So this is reflecting side. So this reflecting side, when it is curved inwards, and sometimes it is curved outwards when you just polish the another surface. So this is how the mirrors are being made, which is curved in shape, and it is known as the curved mirrors, or it is also known as curved reflecting surface, or it is of two types, which is a concave mirror and a convex mirror. So you could see here, this is a concave mirror, okay, and this one is the convex. Next will be the convex mirror, the spherical mirror which has a reflecting surface curved outside. So once the reflecting surface is curved inwards, this is known as the concave mirror, and if the reflecting surface is curved outside, this is known as the convex mirror. Now this concave and convex mirror will become very easy for you all to understand with the help of the diagram of a spoon. Okay, so the spoon which is being used in your homes is having the surface from one side from where you eat is having a curved form. Okay, it is having a curved form, and another side the another side is the shiny side, which is showing you from where you're not able to eat the food. So that side is the convex side, and inner side it is known as the concave side. So just remember this example of spoon, and you will be able to understand what does a spherical mirror and a means concave and convex mirrors means. Okay, I'll just show you the diagram of these two mirrors so that it becomes very easy for you all to understand. So the diagrams are like this. If you see a spoon which is having two surfaces, one is the side from where you are eating the food, that is curved inwards. So if any surface, any reflecting surface, see it is a sphere, it is a hollow sphere, and you can take out the curved mirror from these hollow glass spheres which is having a curved surface inwards. If it is curved inwards, then this mirror will be known as a concave mirror. See, this is the silvered side and the reflecting side is this in a curved inwards. So if it is curved inwards, it means it is a concave mirror. Okay, so this is a concave side of the spoon, fine, from where you eat the food. So the concave mirror will always have a reflecting surface which is which is curved inside. Now if the reflecting surface is curved outside, as you could see here in this mirror, and the silvered surface is at the back side, that is known as the convex mirror. So this is all about the concave and the convex mirror. Now here in this you just remember about the words about this spoon, that the inner side is the concave side, this is the concave side, and this is the convex, back side is the convex side. So this concave mirror has a reflecting surface curved inwards, and the convex mirror will always have a reflecting surface curved outside outwards. Okay, so this is the reflecting side of these two types of mirrors. So based upon these two types of mirrors, there are certain points to be explained. There will be certain words to be explained. So these words will be center of curvature, focus, spherical, principal axis, pole, focal length, and radius of curvature. So I hope that you all have understood the types of mirrors, now types of reflecting surface, which is known as the curved reflecting surface. So it could be concave reflecting surface or it could be a convex reflecting surface. Now based upon these two mirrors, we will see the image formation with the help of the concave mirror first, and then we will explain about the reflection which is being formed in the convex mirror, and with the help of the ray diagrams. So in today's video I have taught you all about the laws of reflection. It follows two laws, and then we discussed about the properties, the characteristics of the plane mirror, characteristics of the image which is formed on the plane mirror, and then also we have discussed about the reflection of light from the curved surface. Means what kind of curved surfaces are there? There are two types of curved surfaces, convex and concave. So we discussed a lot about it. I'll meet you all in the next video, and that's all for today's topic in this video. Okay, so I hope that you all have understood about these three topics which I taught you. So children, I'll meet you all in the next video. That's all for today.